Alright guys, welcome back to another reaction video. My name is James,
Ninetailedbrush.
and today we're going to be watching A Silent Voice. So I have not seen this anime movie. You actually wanted to watch this movie with me.
Mm-hmm.
You've seen it though.
Yes, I've seen it.
I don't know anything about it. I've been getting a little bit more well-versed. Is this newer?
Yeah, I think it came out around the same time as Your Name.
Okay, so it is newer, so it's not like an old Ghibli movie or anything like that.
No.
Okay. Well, it's really, I really enjoyed Your Name. I've been really enjoying any of the anime movies we're watching, so I'm kind of excited, especially because you were like, oh, I want to watch this with you, so I'm a little more excited. I don't really know anything about it. I kind of want to just jump into it because of that. But yes, as always, full-length reaction is going to be up on our Patreon. If you guys want to go ahead and check that out, as well as all the other anime we're watching. We're coming close to finishing up a competition as far as what anime series we're going to begin. We kind of just did a few movies here to hype it up a little bit and kind of buy a little bit of time while you guys are deciding that. And so, yeah, feel free to check everything else we got going on the channel. And let's just get into A Silent Voice. Dang. That was really good. That was very different. That was really not what even halfway through what I didn't expect.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I just lived a lifetime of high school drama. Oh my gosh! Whoa!
Yeah, so how'd you like it? I mean, like, is that your sort of like, I don't know, like...
It's different.
Yeah?
But I like the different. It's like, okay, the only way I can describe it, this is gonna sound really weird. It's like one of those like weird foods you try and you're like, I want to try it again.
Okay.
No, like really, like it was very, like the style of it for a second is just freaking mind-blowing. Okay, the directing, the actual animation, but the directing is probably some of my favorite directing I've seen out of any anime movie, hands down. That was really cool, and I liked that. I liked, I can't even describe it. There was this like vibe to the movie where they would just let things sit. I almost feel like I'm almost too immature for the movie. That's not the way to describe it. Like I feel like an idiot, and I don't like have more coherent thoughts because it was like really, it was like it's not the message, but like the way they told the message is like really mature, and the way they would just let things sit and have it be quiet or loud or like have these kind of awkward moments was really unusual, and I really liked.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like with this movie, well, I mean, it is very sort of like the way that they kind of portray certain things seems very like accurate and
it feels
realistic.
Very real.
Yeah.
Yes.
And honestly, I mean, it's not like I've studied this movie, right?
No,
but like,
no. Yeah, what do you feel?
After seeing it the first time, I'm still like, it's still kind of, I'm still not completely clear on, for example, like Ueno's, how exactly she was like feeling and stuff. It's interesting.
And even why they're still friends. Like obviously, like they all did really messed up stuff, and like Ueno up until the end. And like I don't know, I'm curious. Like there's a part of me that feels like, and I don't know what you think, but like that end, it really is almost like a. I mean, there's a lot of like, I almost feel like even more than it is. You'd think if I gave you the outline of the movie, sorry, I'm building thoughts here. If I give you the outline of the movie, you would think that it's like about like depression, but I actually don't think it's about like depression. I don't, and maybe I'm wrong.
I feel like it's an element, but not.
But I actually think the isolation is much more. So it's not like, oh, you know, my life is so terrible, I'm gonna kill myself. Like it wasn't. At least to me, it didn't feel like that, which actually felt more realistic as well. Not that that doesn't happen, but I feel like more often it is kind of this like isolation, and I feel like that's kind of what they were highlighting and kind of the point of it. Where even though, I guess maybe even though his friends aren't the best, like it's not better than being alone, but like it wasn't doing him any favors. Like he was rejecting friendship and like rejecting any sort of camaraderie and like isolating himself, and that was negative, and he had to learn how to, even if it's like, hey, maybe these friends aren't like the craziest best friends of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Like they still do. Their friendship does mean something.
Yeah. What's interesting to me though is that he didn't. Well, I feel like one of the things that they were highlighting was kind of like, you know, as a kid, you do messed up things sometimes, maybe because, you know.
Oh, kids are really mean. And I'm not just talking about all kids, but like I mean, I am talking about all kids, myself included. Like you can do some really mean stuff as a kid.
And majority of the time, like you don't actually know how bad what you're doing kind of is, you know? You don't know you know, and then I feel like he was kind of starting to learn that as he was growing up, right? One of the things was like he knows that his mom works hard, and then
she was low-key one of my favorite characters, sorry. Low-key one of my favorite.
No, yeah, for sure. Well, like the money that she had to give up, right?
Mm-hmm.
And because of that, it kind of like, I don't know, maybe gives him like a material sense of like how much of a problem it was, you know, the things that he did.
Yeah.
Because it was like, oh shoot, like you work so much for like this money and like you're giving this much away, you know?
Yeah.
And then, so I feel like, you know, a little bit is like that. And then also, I don't know if like they were necessarily trying to be like, because this is the thing, is like they showed I forgot what his name was, Shimada, you know, the other two guys that he was friends with, right?
Yeah.
Because he didn't get back together with them.
No, he didn't.
And so it's not like you.
Which is
everyone's you're friends with, right? You're not like friends with
no.
everyone. I mean, he kind of, you know, he had some.
But like, why would he be friends with Ueno, sorry.
I'm not sure.
Like that's like stuff that like that's where it really makes it not in a bad way, but it's just very interesting to me. I don't really know what it's saying. I don't really know what he's thinking. I don't know what it means. It's interesting.
Yeah, and I haven't like since I haven't gotten into like some sort of detailed analysis on it. It's hard to kind of tell what you wanted. I feel like one of the things was like, okay, I feel like Ueno either treasured their friendship a lot or actually liked I know, what's some character's name?
Ichida.
Yeah, I think she actually liked him, maybe?
I think she did too, 100%.
Right?
100%.
And then, because of that, you know, he was kind of like turning his attention on her, on,
our main girl.
The names.
I know, they had so many names, I forgot.
I always forget names, bro. But anyway.
Nishigami.
No.
Something. Anyway,
yeah. Wait, hold on. Actually, I want to go back because I gotta get this right.
Just look up the movie.
Okay. Nishimiya. Yeah, I forgot. That's what it is. Shoko.
Okay,
Shoko.
Sorry. We have all of them. Shoko, yes.
And so, like, I don't know, like, I feel like because of that, you know, she was kind of like, I don't know, as a kid, she was kind of pissed off or whatever. But then as time went on, it was almost like she didn't kind of change. She didn't mature. And honestly, like, a lot of them didn't really mature.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure what to think about that. It's kind of like...
I mean, I think him and Shoko were like... it was cool because I feel like they were actually more similar than they thought.
Yeah, they both blamed themselves.
Well, because it's called The Silent Voice, right? But it ends with him, and I feel like that really means something.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's like, I think they were both really judgmental, but I liked how it was like a different kind. I really related to Shogo so much, because I feel like, I don't know, that like idea of like that like really harsh judgment, even if someone else isn't judging you, but you're guilty and they're better, and then you judge yourself.
Yeah.
Anyway, I liked that, and then like Shoko was like a completely other side of like judgmental. Yeah. But like she was like so sweet, and like people, I feel like everybody knows kind of people like this, which is why I think they had so many characters.
Yeah.
To kind of be like, everybody knows like Kawaii, like everybody knows somebody like Kawaii who's like, I mean, no offense, but it's like, you know, not like gonna, you know, murder somebody with you, but is like kind of a good friend, and like you go to school with them. It's like, all right, they're like a nice
Yeah.
person to hang out with. Anyway, I feel like Shoko and Shoyo are like opposites in that way, but they still have that same like, I don't want to say judgment. It's not the right word, but it's that kind of thing, like internalization.
It's like they're
And they really hold themselves to a high standard, almost, is what it is.
yeah. It's like there's the self-criticism. I feel like because of her disability, she ended up causing a little bit of trouble between the kids, right?
Yeah.
And they kept showing like every time, you know, I don't know, she couldn't do something, like Shoyo would look at her and be like, you know, you're causing issues for me. And I feel like Ueno saw that too.
Yeah.
And so I feel like later on, Shoko kind of blames herself, and she thinks that it's always, you know, she's always messing up Shoyo's life.
And I'm sure she ran into that in other, right? Like, 'cause it is quite literally an inconvenience. So she's always gonna be inconveniencing people, and that has to take a toll on someone.
Yeah, and she just, you know, she thinks like, well, like she said, she thought like, you know, maybe if she's not there,
Things
stuff would be better. They, you know, everyone would have been friends, no one would have been fighting. Maybe, you know, she thought like that kind of.
Yeah.
I've watched this twice, and I'm still interested in like what exactly. Because the thing is, this is Ueno, like you were saying, like she was in the Ferris wheel. She was like, you thought she was like manipulating her, right?
I thought like she was for a second.
And I thought too, but like,
because I thought she was doing it so that she knew that Shoko would be like, oh, then I need to leave.
I'm sorry, yeah, I know, but I don't. She does not like her apologizing.
No, and I actually think I take that back. Like I actually think that when you see her character, she's not. Everything she said was completely honest. But why? Like what? And then,
it's
then
like
why
she
do they
doesn't
still
want to
decide
be
to hang out
friends.
with her?
But like, I feel like in the middle half of the movie, she didn't want to be friends, but she was like fine with that.
I mean, she reminded me of Shoko, honestly. Like it was almost like she was like maybe a sign of him, like his past self. In that way, where because she very much does act like he does in the beginning, which is why I think they got along. Wait, that's kind of cool if you think. I don't know, where it's like
she started to change,
and as he starts to change, he becomes farther from her and closer to Shoko as a person.
Yeah.
And she doesn't really change, and maybe she's kind of stuck in that. Even to the end, which I kind of like. Like, there's a part of me that was like, you suck and you should be the baddie. But then at the same time, I kind of like that the movie, it felt very real, where it was like, no, like, she doesn't have this, like, beautiful change with dramatic music. Like, she's still a little bit kind of the same. Like, she's not beating up anyone, but, like, she's kind of still the same person. Or at least, she hasn't changed that much yet. But maybe that's kind of what it is, which is interesting if that's true.
Yeah, like, it's interesting because it doesn't go all the way in a certain direction, you know? Like,
it's super interesting, though, that he doesn't... I would argue that maybe Shoyo is like that the whole film, and he's just like the reason he's mean is to kind of like hide it. Because why is he not friends with those two kids he was friends with back then? Like, why does he not make up with them? Unless it was like kind of disingenuous.
Maybe it's just like there's no need to, you know? It's like, you know, you had these issues.
But then why make up with like Ueno or like
because maybe Ueno is actually reaching out.
But like Kawaii?
Well, Kawaii, I feel like
actually she's kind of neutral in her own weird way.
Like she does play the victim. She was playing the victim at times, but it's like.
But like, it sounds really mean to say this, but kind of like in like a weak way. Like she's not an evil person.
Like, yeah.
She's just kind of weak.
Yeah, it's like after the whole like suicide thing, it's like everything else is just a lot less serious.
Well, and I think also, yeah. It's like I don't like these things don't matter in the bigger pictures.
Yeah, they don't want you to die, right? It's like, I mean, for example, they saved him, right? Those two kids that bullied him, right?
Yeah.
And it's just a really, like, they didn't even show it that much. But it's like, it's that whole idea of, like,
Perspective.
It's not, yeah, exactly. It's not that big a deal. Like, we're not going to wish that you killed yourself or something like that, right?
Well, just like on the other end of it, I feel like they didn't have perspective of what they were, like, because like you were saying, like they were bullying, but it's like you don't have a lot of times. And actually, the more I think about this movie, the more I really like it, because that is, at least from Western media, that's such a Hollywood thing to be like, okay, the bully cliche. Oh my gosh, that's such a thing, right?
I mean,
and there's a Spider-Man movie, and it's things that people went through. But it's interesting to explore that, and not even say the bully is good, but understand that especially the younger kids, like young kids can be really mean, but it's not. It's mean, but it's not the same. And I think this movie, I can't quantify it, and I think this movie did the closest thing to quantifying whatever that is. I can't say it, and I know it's a controversial thing to say even.
No, yeah.
Because you can't really define it, but it's true, and I feel like everybody knows it's true. And I feel like that's what kind of this movie was trying to capture, and did a really good job of capturing. Because it is kind of impossible to define or like lay out there, but they showed it really well.
No, yeah.
I like that movie. The more I think about it, the more I like it.
Yeah, I just like that it doesn't... It's not like black and white, right? It's very... Everyone's, got their issues. Everyone's a little...
Yeah, but it's not on the other end of it either. Because I don't like it too much when somebody's like, see, everybody has a backstory. It really was just like, here's real life. And it's complicated.
Yeah.
And something about the like... subtlety of the movie to just like it what I liked about the movie is it didn't tell you how it wanted you to feel, because like when we both watch a ton of movies now, right?
Yeah,
it's like you start picking up on cues. You'll have somebody get angry and it's like, all right, I hear the music getting angry or whatever, whereas this movie quite literally it would just cut music when it didn't, and it would just leave it. And you would see this thing and somebody would be being mean and you were just like, I okay. And I really liked that because it forced you to, I don't know, I enjoyed that.
Yeah, it's very interesting after rewatching it. I'm not able to get a grasp of if they're really saying anything super clear.
No,
right?
I think a lot of anime is like that though. The more, or at least the anime movies.
True,
like
yeah.
Ghibli's a lot like, it gives me similar vibes to Ghibli where I really like that, where it has a message, but the way it's delivered is thought-provoking as opposed to preachy, if that makes sense. Not that all Hollywood movies are preachy, but
no,
it's very like, think about this. I don't know, think about this. I'm not saying I'm right, I'm not saying you're wrong, think about this. And I really like that. Like any sort of film or movie or entertainment that can make you walk away just like think, like this movie, like I want to watch some video, I'm thinking about it. I can't, it's really interesting.
I'm sure
it's great.
You could write some sort of like, in-depth analysis of like,
I'm
a lot of things,
sure. Yeah.
I feel like it's it's got the material there.
No, for sure.
The whole like, I feel like him, like putting words in people's mouths, right? That whole thing in the beginning where he was like, I mean, he's looking around and that's what he thinks people are saying, but they're probably not saying that, right? And at the end, he takes off his, I feel like it's like he's pretending like he's deaf or he wants to be deaf, right? And then he like opens up his ears and he actually hears what people are saying. And honestly, like, it's not like everyone isn't talking about him. There was like I feel like there was a line in there that was actually talking about him. It's like some people might actually talk about you, but you got to kind of get through that. Not everyone is like always against you, which it felt like he was thinking the entire way through, kind of.
Well, you hear, like, I've heard people talk about that with stress or planning too, where it's like, they like talk about like, oh, make a list, because it forces you to be like, instead of just having this like cloud of like, oh, people are judging or whatever it is, right? It's like, oh, okay, sure, that chick is, but that's it, or like 6 of those people are, right? And then really everybody else just doesn't care.
Yeah.
But that is cool. Yeah, you're right. And they demonstrated that really well. Because I feel like, even in awkwardness, like when you go to a new school, you're like, oh my gosh, everybody's looking at me. It's like, no.
It's like, not really.
Not really. And like it feels like that, but really like you went up to get a paper towel and nobody cared. Like and you're like, oh no, like I went up to get a paper towel.
Yeah, and even like when he jumped off the bridge, or even when he attempted suicide, like people were like, oh, are you okay, dude? Or like, dude, that was like cool, you know. But he thinks like, oh shoot, like I messed up or something, you know. And so I don't know. It's just cool that like it felt like he was trying to be like the deaf person, or he was like the deaf person.
I think he was.
Right.
I don't
Instead
think
of
it
the
was even
actual
about
deaf
her.
person,
Yeah.
right.
Whereas she felt like she was the problem.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, that's really cool. That was a really cool movie. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
And some of those moments were, I thought like for a second she died. Like when she had the vision, I was like, dude,
Oh really?
Oh, the sister's gonna tell her that she died, and then
That would be so dark.
I don't know. I didn't know where it was going, dude. It could have gone there.
It's possible.
Like this is
that would have been really bad.
Well, that's what I thought. I was like, dude, and then she's gonna be walking away and be like my sister died or something. Like I was just waiting for it. I was like, oh no. Anyway, I was just happy that didn't happen. That was a really good movie. I really enjoyed that, and I liked the style of it. And I feel like, I don't know. It's the same genre as like Your Name. I don't really know what to call it exactly. If you guys want to give me a genre, actually, in the comments, cool.
Yeah,
but
sure.
Whatever it was, I feel like the style of this animation, it maximized the effectiveness of that genre, and it really leaned into that in a way that I think made this movie like a step above other anime.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, anyway, thank you for joining us. Thank you for watching. As always, there's going to be a full-length reaction up on our Patreon if you guys want to go check that out, support us, and there's a ton of other stuff up there. Demon Slayer, Haikyuu, Attack on Titan, tons of stuff on the channel. If you're new here, welcome. Hopefully you stick around, like, and subscribe. It's kind of a baby channel, but I really, it's a passion project. I want to watch more anime, so kind of the more people come, the more we can watch. So hopefully you stick around. We have a ton more content coming. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for watching. And we will see you all in the next video.